Hey, what's up, guys? Today I want to talk about Michelle Alexander's article called Why Hillary Clinton Doesn't Deserve the Black Vote. And this article is on the Nation News Media website, and I highly recommend you guys clicking the article link below and reading this and sharing it and spreading the word of the things that Hillary and Bill have done to the inner city minority community throughout the country. Because before reading this article, I knew somewhat of the things that Bill and Hillary did that negatively affected the black community during the 90s, but I didn't know how extensive their impact was on the black community until reading this article. And before this article, I was thinking to myself, well, if Hillary Clinton gets a nomination, I'm going to vote for her because she is the lesser of two evils in comparison to Donald Trump or Ted Cruz. And I am not questioning that notion because, yes, Donald Trump and Ted Cruz are very racially bigoted people. But Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton aren't far off from being in the same boat. And this is apparent because during the 90s, Bill Clinton and the rest of the Democratic Party, with the exception of Bernie Sanders and a few others, were in a pissing contest with the Republicans to be viewed as the tough on crimes party. And to prove his point, at the time Governor Bill Clinton flew back to Arkansas to execute a mentally incompetent African-American man who said that he wants to save his desserts for seconds and this was his last meal. Yes, the guy did kill two people, but if he couldn't mentally process what he did, or his mental capacity didn't know what was going on or whatever, then that's immoral to execute him, especially. And I'm against the death penalty in general, but it's disturbing when we are executing people who are mentally disabled, or whatever the term is to be used. And this doesn't just stop here. It went on throughout his presidency. African Americans want to view Bill Clinton as being our first black president, but he is responsible for the 1994 Clinton crime bill, where it basically is responsible for the mass incarceration we see today. When Clinton left office in 2001, the United States had the highest incarceration rate in the world, and the Human Rights Watch reported that in 7 states, African Americans are constituted as 80 to 90% of all drug offenders sent to prison, even though they were no more likely than whites to use or sell drugs. And prison admissions for drug offenses reached a level in 2000 for African Americans more than 26 times the level they were in 1983. All of the presidents since 1980 have contributed to mass incarceration, but none of the presidents have done as much damage as Bill Clinton did during his presidency. And a lot of people are probably wondering, why am I mentioning so much about Bill Clinton and it's Hillary Clinton that's running? Well, the thing is with Hillary Clinton that makes her unique amongst first ladies is that she actively politically campaigned for her husband to get elected, and then while he was in office, she actively politically campaigned for a lot of the legislation that Bill Clinton passed or was trying to get passed, and then a lot of it did become law. And she's not like other first ladies who were just behind the scene, basically just going to campaign rallies or whatever and clapping for her husband when he was done speaking. No, she was actively helping manage her husband's campaign and basically discuss his platform. So it's fair to attack Hillary for a lot of the actions that her husband did while in the White House. And Hillary Clinton has made statements saying that at-risk inner-city youth are super predators. They're not just gangs of kids anymore. They're often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel. She is basically referring to children as being animals. And to make matters worse, under the Clinton administration, a lot of the social safety net programs which were in place to uplift people out of poverty, to cut down on homelessness, to make sure kids aren't going hungry, were cut under his administration. During Clinton's tenure, the funding for public housing was slashed by $17 billion, a reduction of 61%, but then funding for corrections was increased by $19 billion, an increase of 171%. And a sociologist whose name I can't pronounce, it sounds like a French name, but he said that effectively making the construction of prisons the nation's main housing program for the urban poor. And Hillary Clinton wants to say that she is a progressive who is running for office. That can't be further from the truth than I don't know what. And the fact that she has the nerve to attack Bernie Sanders on his civil rights record when she was campaigning for Barry Goldwater, a person who was pro-segregation, who voted against the Civil Rights Act, and Bernie Sanders was a person who during the 60s, he was arrested to protest against segregation. And throughout his political career, he has fought for the rights of minorities. He was one of the few Democrats who was against this tough on crime nonsense that were being espoused by both of the parties. He was a light of reason in this time of darkness. And then Hillary Clinton has a nerve to attack him? Have you lost your fucking mind? I mean, when I saw that debate last night, it was cringeworthy when she was talking about criminal justice reform, and she's one of the main reasons why we have such huge systemic problems when it comes to mass incarceration in this country. So, in closing, I am a Bernie Sanders supporter because I understand that the policies that Bernie Sanders is trying to put forth are policies that will not only have a positive effect on the inner city minority communities, but then communities throughout the country. You know, the things that he is trying to push is going to level the playing field so more people have opportunity to advance in life, and they're able to feed their families, they're able to, send their kids off to college. And, Hillary Clinton is basically saying, well, I'm not going to stand with the American people. I'm going to stand with the 0.01% and the banks who fund my campaigns and give me, ridiculous amounts of money for doing speeches that are like 30 minutes long. And a lot of people are saying, well, her Goldman Sachs speeches, there wasn't anything, that would be seen as being bad in those speeches or whatever. But when you're getting paid $250,000 to give a 30-minute speech, I mean, that's a little ridiculous. I mean, that's not, in-your-face bribery, but it is low-key, indirect, trying to influence one of our politicians by basically giving them a task which can be pretty much performed by anybody, and then giving them an exorbitant amount of money. So yes, I think Bernie Sanders is the better candidate by far and large. I think that Hillary Clinton should not get the Democratic Party's nomination. Maybe she should go over to the Republican side, because it seems like a lot of the policies of her husband and are in line with that of the Republican Party. That's all I have to say. I'm feeling the burn. I do not like Hillary. Any African American that votes for Hillary, I don't know what to say. There might be something wrong with you. If after all this stuff that is being said about Hillary Clinton, and then you are going to go vote for her, I don't know what to say to you. Because if she does get the Democratic Party's nomination, I will no longer be a Democrat, and I will probably be voting for an independent candidate, probably a Green Party candidate. So that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Please share this video, tell your friends, share the article to all over the internet, because we need to get Bernie Sanders a nomination, because he will defeat the Republican Party or whoever they throw at him during the general elections.